I'm on the edge, I know the ledge. I work real hard to collect my cash. Tick, 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 take the time. When I'm going for mine. Open your ears and you will hear it. I tell you this cause there's no limit. Cause there's much crowd. Microphone check as I choose my route. I'm playing on the road, I've got no fear. The sound from my mouth is a rap you hear. No valley too deep, no mountain too high. Reach the top, touch the sky. You try to diss me cause I sell out. I'm making techno when I'm proud.
if I could have quiet in the back there, there seems to be a table that's making quite a racket. I can go on. Sounds like some of you are already smashed. It's probably no surprise, though. I think the bartenders were serving doubles when they were supposed to be serving singles. Welcome to Raphi Kanchanarapi's retirement party. My name is Tom Muir, and I have the distinct honor of being the Master of Ceremonies tonight. Now, just before I get started, Raphi, I thought I would, say you've got your entire family back from Thailand here. You've got 300 of your closest and dearest friends with you. Are you sure you don't want to call this retirement stuff off? Actually, from the first time I heard that Raphi was retiring, I had a lot of trouble using the word retire when thinking or talking about Raphi. So much so that I ultimately decided that I'd look the word retire up in the dictionary to hone in on just exactly what is meant by the word. And frankly, this really just made things worse for me. And let me read to you why. I decided to bring my dictionary tonight, and I open it to the page where the definition of retire is found. And the first thing that I read is retire, to withdraw from action. Well, that'll be the day when Raphi withdraws from action, if any of you have seen him on the badminton court. Retire, to go to bed. Now, I thought maybe there's something there depending on what he's going to bed for. Retire, to withdraw from usual use. Now, I don't think this can be it, because Suda told me many years ago that Raphi did that a long time ago. Or then there's to seek seclusion or shelter, to vanish from sight, to withdraw from society. And again, none of these fit Raphi, although I do understand he plans to move back to Thailand. But finally, at the bottom of the definition, I found something a little more promising. Retire, to add new tread to the sole of a pair of running shoes. Now, people often retire from a career or profession at about the age 60. The problem with Raphi is nobody really knows how old he is. And it really is very difficult to pin down. Not only was his birth certificate doctored by his mother, but on the one hand, Raphi has the style and grace of an elder statesperson. And on the other hand, he plays badminton like a 20-year-old. And he also has the skin complexion of a toddler. The question that heretofore no one has ever asked or been prepared to ask Raphi is, Raphi, is your complexion natural? Or have you had a little help along the way, if you know what I mean? Well, actually, what is the secret to Raphi's youthful appearance? I happen to know the answer, and I've decided that I will share it with you all tonight. The answer is Tiger Balm. I have seen Raphi rub this into his skin 2, 3, 4 times a day, just as feverishly as many of you out there rub in your daily dose of anti-wrinkle cream. And although I've never actually seen him do it, I'm convinced that he gets his get up and go on the badminton court by putting just a little dab or two in his daily cup of tea. Now, what a fabulous turnout we have here tonight. By last count, almost 300 people, with representation from a We have representation from a very broad base of groups with which Raphi has been involved over the years. First and foremost, Raphi's immediate family is with him tonight. His wife Sudha, his son Bad, his daughter Bee, all flew back from Bangkok to share this evening with Raphi tonight. And we'd like to extend a very warm and special welcome to Raphi's family. We also have quite a few of the family's friends from the Thai community, not only in Toronto but elsewhere with us tonight, and I'd like to extend a warm welcome to Raphi and his family's friends. We also have quite a few people here from out of town. We have 5 or 6 people from the Glencoe Club in Calgary, which is where Raphi got his start in Canada. In particular, I think it's very special to Raphi that his lifelong friend and doubles companion of the last 25 years, Chanarong, made the trip. Welcome. We also have a group of people with us tonight from the Royal Canadian Yacht Club, where Raphi did some teaching over the years, and I'd like to welcome people from that club as well. I do hope our guests and our friends here from the Glencoe Club and the RCYC were able to pay the Granite members' cost for the dinner tonight and not the non-member fee. We also have a terrific turnout from Raphi's competitive badminton group. And finally, there are just a lot of people here tonight who have either shared a court with Raphi or whose children have shared a court with Raphi over the years without any particular goal in mind other than just having fun learning and playing badminton. And not surprisingly, we have a few letters from people that couldn't be here tonight, and I thought I would just take a few moments and read some excerpts from some of the letters. First, from Michael Horgan, president of the Granite Club. Most unfortunately, I will not be in Canada on November the 23rd. Would you please express my regrets to Raphi and express my personal thanks for his outstanding contribution to the club. A letter from Bill Bonney, QC, Calgary. I guess that means he's a lawyer. Unfortunately, I will be unable to attend Raphi's retirement party in Toronto on November 23rd, as I will be in California at the time. I'd be there too if I could. Would you please extend my best wishes to Raphi for a long and happy retirement? A letter from Ken Little in Calgary. Unfortunately, I will be in Montreal that weekend at a board meeting for the Canadian Hemophilia Society. I was hoping to be able to sneak off for a few hours on Saturday night, catch a flight from Montreal to Toronto and back. However, the logistics were just too much. Please give my regards and best wishes to Raphi. I suspect it will be a very emotional event, which I would have loved to have been at. A letter from Don Chu, sounds like a mouthful, from Orange County, California. Unfortunately, my wife and I will not be able to attend Raphi's retirement party because we will be in Thailand on that date. Good planning. I am sure that the evening will be very special and memorable for my good friend Raphi. A letter from Jamie Marks in Minneapolis, formerly from Calgary. I still remember vividly the day Raphi left the Glencoe for Toronto. It was a devastating blow to me, but the influence he had on me was very positive. It would have given me great pleasure to wish Raphi a happy retirement in person, but unfortunately I will not be able to attend. Please pass on my congratulations to Raphi and wish Raphi and his family the best of luck. He has worked hard and he certainly deserves the luxury of putting his feet up. And finally, I'll read part of a letter from Pat Burgess, the president of the Glencoe Club in Calgary. It is with my sincerest regrets and disappointment that I advise you that I was unable to attend the functions for Raphi this weekend at the Granite Club. When I started talking to my fellow Glencoe members about attending Raphi's retirement party Without exception, their reaction when I advised them that Raphi had been in Toronto for 23 years was one of astonishment. For all of us, it seems like Raphi was just here a couple of years ago. Everyone who remembers Raphi thinks fondly of their own personal memories with him over the years. He is truly a memorable man. On a personal basis, I think the quality of Raphi that always stands out in my mind is his gentleness and his kind and sincere demeanor. Whenever I have the good fortune of running into Raphi at the Granite Club, I immediately have a great big smile on my face from the memories of the fun that we all had with Raphi. My mother informs me that no one made the morning Badminton ladies smile quite like Raphi. With his incessant teasing and good-natured ribbing, although Chanarong hasn't done a bad job at keeping that alive. Now that I'm a parent with children who are just becoming involved in the junior badminton program at the Glencoe, it makes me stop and recall my days in the program when Raphi and Chanarong together did such an incomparable job of making the program fun for kids of all ages, and yet were able to get us all interested in playing competitively. I wish Raphi the very best in his well-deserved retirement and in his return to Thailand, and hope this does not mean that we will not have a chance to cross paths again soon. On behalf of the Glencoe Club, I extend my gracious thanks to all of Raphi's friends at the Granite Club for allowing us to be a part of this evening of appreciation for Raphi. And I would like to thank Raphi for all of his efforts and smiles during his memorable and enjoyable stopover at the Glencoe Club. I could go on, but those were all the letters I had time to make up. I would now just like to outline the agenda for this evening's celebration. First, we will be treated to a wonderful Thai food dinner. The menu was approved by Raphi, and I know that the club's chef and his staff have put in a tremendous effort in order to meet his discerning palate. Following dinner, I will provide a brief historical portrait of Raphi. We will then hear from 4 people that will pay tribute to Raphi. Each of these people will speak not only for themselves, but on behalf of others with whom they have shared moments with Raphi, both on and off the court. Each of these people will present Raphi with a small gift. I should just mention that not all of these are takeaway gifts. A couple of them will remain in the club as perpetual reminders of Raphi's unique and everlasting contribution to the club and its membership. Following the tributes, a presentation will be made to Raphi on behalf of the Board of Directors. And finally, after it all, Raphi will make a few comments. I would now, at this point, like to call on my brother James Muir to say grace. Where is he? Well, there he is.
Let us pray. O God, we thank you for our memories and experiences shared through the years with Raphi. We have valued his skill, his knowledge, and his ability to teach us. As we gather here this evening, we ask that you bless our fellowship together and this meal which we are about to enjoy. Amen.
I've been searching a long time. Someone exactly like you. I've been traveling all around the world, waiting for you to come through. Someone like you, make it all worthwhile. Someone like you, keep me satisfied. Someone exactly like you. I've been traveling a hard road, they've been looking for someone exactly like you. I've been carrying my heavy load, waiting for the light to come shining through. Someone like you, make it all worthwhile. Someone like you, make me satisfied. Someone exactly like you. I've been doing some soul searching to find out where you were at. I've been up and down the highway in all kinds of foreign lands. Someone like you, make it all worthwhile. Someone like you, keep me satisfied. Someone exactly like you. I've been all around the world, marching to the beat of a different drum. But just lately I have realized, baby, the best is yet to come. Someone like you, make it all worthwhile. Someone like you, they're very satisfied. Someone exactly like you. Someone exactly like you. Someone exactly like you. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. Someone exactly like you. Someone exactly like you.
Before we get underway with the after-dinner speakers, I would like just first to say some thank yous. And I think first I'd like us to say thank you to some of the club staff. Peter Fifey, the club's general manager, Mina Miller, the club's catering manager, and Jim Edwards, the club's chef, and all of their staff for putting together the logistics and this wonderful dinner that we have all just had. The only comment I'd add, I don't know about the rest of you, but I found the ketchup that they served quite spicy. Second, I'd like us to say thank you to Sheila McLaughlin, the convener of the badminton section. Even though James tells me he did all of the work, he felt we should mention Sheila. James Muir, Alice Kernahan, and Michael DeBell, and I think the entire committee, but those four formed an ad hoc committee to get tonight's event organized. And maybe later somebody can say thank you to me for emceeing. I'd like now just to give a brief portrait of Raphi's history before we have some people come up and pay tribute to him. Raphi Kanchanarapi was born and raised in Thailand. He was the youngest of 8 children. He had 7 sisters. He was and remains the baby in the family. Raphi's parents were Thai badminton champions, as were 2 of his sisters. Raphi himself began playing competitive badminton at the age of 17. At the age of 21, 4 years later, Raphi won his first Thai doubles championship. Over the following 4 years, he won the Thai doubles championship 2 more times, the Thai mixed doubles championship twice, and the Thai Open doubles championship once. Over the 3 years, 1956 to 1958, Raphi was undisputably the best doubles player in the world. During these years, he was undefeated in international competition. In 1959, Raphi retired and married his lovely wife, Sudha. 10 years later, at the age of 34, Raphi was in California for a work-related study program. And at the end of the program, in the summer of 1969, he visited his good friend and former teammate, Chanarong, who had just recently taken up the post of badminton professional at the Glencoe Club in Calgary. After a brief visit, Chanarong encouraged Raphi to stay on and to work with him at the Glencoe Club, which Raphi did for 4 years. In 1970, at the age of 35, Raphi ended his 10-year retirement from international competition and won the Canadian Doubles Championship. In 1971 and 1972, Raphi won the Canadian Doubles Championship with Chanarong, and in 1972, Raphi and Chanarong won the Canadian Open Doubles Championship. They also in that year reached the quarterfinal round of the world's most prestigious tournament, the All England Championship, where they extended the #1 seeded team in the world, probably at least 10 years their junior, to 3 long, hard-fought games. At the same time that Raphi and Chanarong were winning international badminton titles, they were also having outstanding success in building the interest in badminton at the Glencoe Club and in coaching and developing a raft of highly successful national and international players. The only club at the time in Canada that had anywhere near the same level of competitive players was the Granite Club, led by the then young Jamie McKee, and including others such as Pat Daly, David Gibson, my brother James, Brian Monroe, Ian Arthur, Melissa, Kathy, and Ross Clark, Craig McDougall, Clifford Jansen, and many others. Fortunately for these and other young players, while the Granite Club did not have a badminton professional, it did at the time have a very active group of then 40-something former Canadian badminton level players that encouraged them along. A number of parents in the badminton section ultimately decided that it was time to seek out a badminton professional to foster the growth of the sport of the club and to coach its competitive players. A committee was struck comprised of Jack Muir, my father, Bruce McDougall, with us tonight, and the late Bill Smith. After some deliberation, a decision was made to approach for the job none other than Chanarong. Very fortunately for the Granite Club, Chanarong declined the opportunity. He did, however, suggest that the Granite Club talk to Raphi, and for that, we thank you, Chanarong. Raphi's first day at the Granite Club was September 1st, 1973. It very quickly became clear that Raphi was going to dramatically increase interest and participation in badminton at the Granite Club. He enthusiastically and quickly rejuvenated the ladies program, the evening seniors program, and the junior program. He also had a huge impact on the successes achieved by the competitive players. But Raphi's contribution to the club and its members always extended well beyond the player programs he organized and the titles captured by the club's competitive players. For example, on 3 separate occasions, Raphi initiated and organized trips to Thailand for between 5 and 10 young Granite badminton players to tour the country and to play competitive badminton. My only regret is that at that time I was not considered a young Granite badminton player. Throughout his years at the Granite Club, Raphi has continued to capture major tournament titles. In 1976, at the tender age of 41, Raphi won the Canadian Doubles Championship and played for Canada with Chanarong and 2 other Granite Club members on our country's Thomas Cup team. During a 7-year span from 1975 to 1981, Raphi won 6 Ontario doubles titles. Now, relative to his other titles, this does not sound particularly impressive. But what is quite special about the titles in Ontario that Raphi won is that he did so with 3 different Granite Club players. In fact, Raphi made it a point to play with as many Granite Club players as he could in competitions in order to share with them directly his tournament experience and expertise. Finally, in 1986, when Raphi was 51 years old, playing with Chanarong, they won the over 40 doubles gold medal at the first World Masters Championship. Raphi, you have had Chanarong as your doubles partner in international competition now for 25 years. We all know that Chanarong is a singles player. In my opinion, you have carried him long enough. And I can say that a group of players from the Glencoe Club and from some other spots in the Granite Club today got together and played a little bit of badminton. And I saw Raphi play a game today that made him look like 20 years old. And what I noticed in watching Raphi and Chanarong play is that when in doubt on a shot, Chanarong invariably leaves it for Raphi. I now have the pleasure of making the first presentation to Raphi. So Raphi, I'm going to ask you to come up here. First, the Tiger Bomb. The Tiger Bomb is a take-home gift. Raphi was an extraordinarily innovative competitive badminton player. For example, in his earlier years, he found that playing with a racket that had a very thin, flat handle allowed him to develop a repertoire of unique finesse shots and powerful smashing shots that his opponents were unable to return and unable to replicate. Raphi, you may not recall, but over 20 years ago, you gave me one of your thin grip max ply rackets. Now, you probably gave it to me in an attempt to bribe me into learning a new shot or to develop more finesse in my game. I never had the racket strung, but it has long been a reminder to me of the many lessons I have learned from you. We have had this racket mounted in a glass case with an inscription describing your competitive achievements. The racket will be permanently displayed in the badminton lounge so that young Granite Club players for many years to come can draw inspiration from your achievements long after your retirement. That's it. I hope everybody enjoyed this evening's event. It is now my pleasure to move to the tributes. First, it's my pleasure to introduce Don Smith of the Glencoe Club in Calgary, which, as I earlier mentioned, is where Raphi got his start in Canada. Don Smith, better known by his friends as Disco Don, both because of his actions on and his actions off the court, was a top national competitive badminton player, again, in his earlier years. I will say, though, in fact, that Dom was one of the early products of Chanarong and Raphi's coaching, and he was a menace over many years to the Granite's top competitive players, snatching far too many tournament victories from them. Don, you have a few comments to make.
Let's go!
Thanks, Tom. It's truly an honor and a pleasure to be here tonight, really to pay tribute to men we all love. Raphi, you've been a tremendous influence in my life. You've won world championships all over the globe. As Tom said, at 51 you were beating 40-year-olds. At 61 you're beating 40-year-olds. You know, you've done a lot of great things, but there's one thing on your resume that you'll never be able to say. You could never teach me how to play doubles. Chanarong last night he openly said that I couldn't complete a match, and today we proved that once again, having lost 3 games, 15-13 out of 4. But I wanted to actually say thank you to James and Mary for a very nice night last night. We had a kind of a core group of old badminton players, and we were trading some war stories, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And tonight we really are here to pay tribute to Raphi, and I bring a lot of greetings from out west. My wife Susie says hi, and Raphi knew Susie before we were married, and in fact Raphi taught me a lot about life. Maybe couldn't teach me doubles so well, but I was taking some notes, and Raphi had an interesting quality to him, has an interesting quality, and he always treats people fairly. In knowing this man for, I guess, almost 25 years, I've never heard anyone say anything bad about Raphi. And how many people do you know that you can say that about? You know, and we had a special experience last night trading some old badminton stories, and there was kind of something neat that happened today on the court. It's really nice to be back to the Granite Club. I've only played in this club once, never as a competitive athlete. I played in the other Granite Club, the old one. In fact, I played Tom Muir in that tournament, and Tom, I did beat you. Thank you. Now, Jamie McKee's another story. That guy was one of the toughest competitors I ever played. And on all the gall-darn games he and I played, I only beat him once. It was the 1971 Summer Invitational. I had him so many times in that third game, I'd have him down and almost out. He'd come back and beat me just about every time. One of the great competitors. But today, we saw a sense of deja vu. 20 years ago, in 1976, in the finals of the Canadian Badminton Championships in Moncton, New Brunswick, Chanrong and Raphi played Lucio Fabris and James Muir. And it was an unbelievable match. It was a three-gamer, and the pattern was set right out of the gate. Lucio, who hits the bird huge, was hammering it, and James was playing the forecourt, and it was just a great, great game. And unfortunately for the young guys, experience and wisdom beat youth and fitness. Now today, we had a rematch. So here, you fast forward 20 years. Today, Lucio and James play Chanrong and Raphi. And you know, it's kind of interesting. It's like the Skins game when they start, you know, oh, they're all lovey-dovey after about... after about 2-1, Chanrong says, you know, nice try, and Raphi, as he always does, you know, you have a winning shot and almost goes over but falls back. Oh, you had me, you had me. And all of a sudden, the game was on. And I'll tell you, it was the finals of the Canadian Doubles Championships all over again. And they had one game, and it lasted about 30 minutes. It was the most exciting game by far we played today. And this time, Lucio and James won, but only by 15-13. Not a bad showing, guys. When, you know, 20 years or 23 years ago, I guess, when Raphi came to the Granite Club, it certainly was the Glencoe Club's loss and your gain. But I want to take you back. I've played this game for, I guess, pretty well my whole life. And I want to share with you the greatest badminton match I've ever seen. And let me set the stage. It was 1971 at the Canadian Open in Montreal. It was the semifinals of that tournament in the university arena. In that match was Chanrong and Raphi against the then All-England and world champion, Rudy Hartono, and his doubles partner. And they had just made it to the finals of the All-England. Now, Rudy Hartono, who won 8 All-Englands, was at the top of his game. Chanrong and Raphi, maybe a little bit of the bloom was off the rose, but not much. Because when these guys got going, I'll tell you, it was unbelievable. And I happened to be a linesman at that match. The first game, Chanrong and Raphi were kind of tuning up, and Hartono and Gunnawan, which was his partner's name, won, about 15-5. Then something special happened. What these two guys had, and still have, we saw it today, Haluch, is magic. Something magical occurred. And I was there as a linesman. And the rallies started getting longer and longer. And they had the same feel to them. And what it was Hartono and his partner on the offense, and Chanrong and Raphi on the defense. They were counterpunchers. And Hartono could smash huge. And the rallies started getting so long, we started counting how many shots. Now, a long badminton rally, for those of you who play this game, is maybe 10 to 15 shots. They started getting in the 40 to 50 shot range. It was unbelievable. At the end of the second game, they had a rally that was incredible. I've never seen it before or since. The rally was 78 shots. Hartono and Gunnawan were on the offense, and Hartono was playing the backcourt, and his partner was playing the forecourt. And he started smashing, and he started moving in, and it was at the back line, and then they were starting to get a little weaker returns, and he started moving in closer and closer for the kill. And these guys, and they had different styles, huh? Because Chanrong would kind of be the sweeping return, and Raphi's down on his crouch. He's like this, huh? In fact, you smash it at Raphi, it comes back at you faster than the other guy hit it. But it was something unbelievable because Hartono actually gave up. He smashed it. The bird came back. It was like people are on their feet. It was like, how can these birds keep coming back? He gave up that point, but not the match. So it went to a third game, and it was magical. It was unbelievable. You had the best players in the world at that moment in time playing. Chanrong and Raphi against Hartono's partner, and Chanrong and Raphi beat those guys in the semifinals of the Canadian Open. It was unbelievable. Now the next day in the finals, unfortunately Raphi and Chanrong were somewhat stiff. The Tiger Bomb wasn't working. And they got their ass kicked. But I tell you, that they had to be there for that one match. Anyway. Raphi, I just want to say to you, from all of us at the Glencoe Club, thank you very much for your personal experiences, and it's now my great pleasure to call on your first employer, the general manager of the Glencoe Club, Mr. Jim Powell, to make a presentation. Jim?
I'm sorry about this. I wasn't on Tom's speaking list tonight, so I'll keep this very short. Raphi, I'd like to think of as not only a wonderful employee that we had at the Glencoe Club, but a very good friend of mine. Raphi and I have been friends over the years, and he's even been kind enough to carry me through to a few victories, which was absolutely wonderful. Anyway, I'd like to reiterate Don's comments that Raphi is one of the more wonderful people that you'll ever meet, and I, as well as Don, has not heard anyone say anything bad about him. And from the Glencoe Club, its members and staff, I've got a card here signed by a great number of them and a little gift I'd like to present to them. Thank you.
Jim, you must have read my speech. It's a sporting life bag with a new pair of shoes. I would now like to introduce our next speaker that will pay tribute to Raphi, Sarah Gibbings. Sarah is a member of the Gibbings family of Granite Club badminton players. Sarah and her sisters have been very active users of our badminton courts over the years. Sarah actually started playing badminton in Raphi's Saturday morning junior clinic. Years later, Sarah was a Triple Crown winner in the Ontario Junior Under-19 Championship and is the only Granite Club player to ever win all 3 Ontario senior titles. Sarah?
I've known Raphi now for 15 years, and I can say with absolute certainty that I've never met anyone quite like him. Recently, in thinking about his retirement, and I guess what I was going to say here tonight, did I realize how much he has influenced my life. I believe that children are a product of their parents' upbringing, but in the case of my sisters and I think many others in this room, there was another significant figure, Raphi. His ideas, especially about respect and the way he treats others, has been so influential. I remember hearing on numerous occasions how Raphi had to listen to all 7 of his older sisters, and was, as well as his parents, and was never expected to talk back. I always liked the part about listening to the older siblings, although I don't think my sisters did quite so much. But it was far more than just respect for elders. It was Raphi's whole attitude towards people, the way he treated other coaches, competitors, and even young children. I don't know how many people here have had the opportunity to play with Raphi in a tournament, but when I was younger I had a couple of chances to play mixed with him. And it didn't matter what happened, it was always his fault. There would be rallies where he wouldn't even touch the bird. I'd hit the service return right into the net, and it was still his fault. I wish all my partners were that understanding. These are the sorts of things that from just being around him rub off onto others. Respect for others is evident by several Fair Play Awards won by Granite members over the years at junior nationals, and the Granite Club's always been commended for the behavior and sportsmanship of its players. And how many coaches do you know that would take more than a dozen players to Thailand with them for 6 weeks? And it wasn't just once, but there were several trips. I went in '88, only 2 years after he'd taken another fair-sized group. My sister Caroline went 4 years later in '92. And Martha, I think, still waiting for her turn. Imagine us in Thailand, though, with a former world champion. Raphi showed us all around, and we were treated like royalty. But I guess that's because Raphi's a national hero over there. It was the trip of a lifetime. But back to the sport for a moment. It goes without saying that everyone here, I think, would agree that Raphi is one of the best coaches they've ever worked with. In fact, other coaches have even commented on Raphi's amazing ability to produce great players. It was back in Kapuskasing, of all places, for my first provincial championships back in 1986. My mom and I were sitting at the tournament hotel having breakfast, and we overheard just a portion of the conversation, but I think it caught our attention because they mentioned Raphi. The exact words of this coach were, "Raphi can make a winner out of anyone." And it was true that if you showed interest, Raphi would do whatever he could to make you the best. Often the biggest part Raphi drilled in, I think, was the mental aspect. Being tough, smart, and patient. Okay, one more little story. I'm sure most of you have noticed that at tournaments he's usually at the back of the room, watching from a distance, but always knowing exactly what's going on. When I was 15, the Junior Canadians were held in Quebec City. My parents were there, but Raphi couldn't take a full week away from the Granite. And I talked to him periodically over the phone during the week of the tournament. Anyway, when I called to tell him that I'd made 2 semifinals, he got in the car after he'd finished on Thursday with Bad, drove all night, and arrived in Quebec City in time for breakfast and the semis on Friday. It was things like that Raphi would do, always so supportive and kind. Raphi loves the sport, but there was never any pressure. He was always so patient. You could play as much or as little as you wanted. He respects all levels of play. And he really advocates love of the game. And I know the old cliche is winning isn't everything, but I don't know how many coaches who truly believe that winning isn't the most important thing. Raphi just wanted you to have fun. Besides, losing builds character. Through badminton and having Raphi as a coach, I think I've become far more confident in every area of life than I think I might have been without his influence. So speaking on behalf of all the juniors who grew up at the Granite with Raphi, we say thank you for everything. You'll be missed far more than you know. In Raphi's honor, there will be a trophy called the Raphi Kanachana Raphi Trophy. I think it's behind me here. And the inscription on it is going to read as follows. Awarded annually to the Granite Junior member who exhibits spirit, dedication, and perseverance in the sport of badminton. Now, perhaps Raphi could come up and see the award that will be dedicated in your name. And I'd also like to call up Sheila McLaughlin, this year's badminton convener, to present the first winner.
It's my pleasure this year to announce that the winner of this new award is Martha Gibbings. Martha?
I gather that's just a trophy for juniors. Now I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Mary Eleanor Morris. Mary Eleanor was the convener of the badminton section for the year 1992-93 and is a keen competitor on Raphi's ladies ladder, has long been an active member of Raphi's ladies group, and by that I mean his badminton ladies group. Mary Eleanor.
Well, you've heard from the champions. You've heard of our great juniors coming up and taking their place, and probably they'll be international champions too. I'm going to speak for the rest of us. The first time I met Raphi, it was when I joined the Granite Club in '81. And I hadn't played badminton for 30 years. And everybody said, "Oh, you're going to curl, aren't you?" And I thought, "No, I'm not going to curl. I'm going to play badminton." But I had finally got over back problems. And being of Scotch descent, I decided that before I joined the section, I was going to see if I could play badminton still. So I phoned Sue Dublin and said, "Do you think somebody could come and help me play, see if I can even hit the bird still?" And she said, "Oh yes, Raphi will be there." And I thought, "Oh, isn't this nice? Some nice man is going to come down and help me." So anyway, I met him and he was so polite, and I thought, "Oh well, he doesn't look too intimidating." So I batted a few birds around with him. And after 5 minutes, I said, "I'm sorry, I have to sit down." Like this. And so anyway, I think he was really concerned about this middle-aged woman coming and being in such a state. But anyway, I decided at the end of the day that it was really my game. And even if I had been away from it for 30 years, I wanted to take it up again. And Raphi was just great. He made sure I had a good racket. I think I brought an old wooden one with me. And that I got all dressed up the way that you're supposed to at the Granite Club for badminton. And he said, "Come out to the Tuesday ladder and we'll start you off." So with fear and trepidation, with my nice new racket and my nice new shoes and my dress and so forth, I went out on Tuesday. And Raphi was just a sweetheart. He introduced me to all the women, and I made friends there, and I really felt at home. And I think this is one thing about this section. It is the friendliest of the whole club. And I think it's mainly because of Raphi's attitude to the game. Let's have fun. Let's do as well as we can. But if you don't win, it doesn't really matter because you're just here to enjoy yourself. I really got to know Raphi very well as convener, but not at committee meetings. If he could find somewhere else to be, he was there instead of at committee meetings. But on an individual basis, I watched him that year start the Friday evening group for the little kids, and he would have activities for them, teach them a little bit about the game, and then he would bribe them with food and drink afterwards. And they just adored it. And then to see the keen interest on Saturday mornings for the clinics. And even the other day I went up and there were about 40 of them, and there was only one lying on the ground not paying attention, and the rest were looking and seeing what he was doing. He, as you've been told, is tremendous with the competitors, but not only with the competitors. He likes his ladies, and he really treats us with dignity. I have had a lot of mothers come up to me and tell me that their children had been on his Thai trips. And they said, you know, our children came back full of self-confidence, knowing what the global village was all about. And they made friendships over there. They made friendships within their own group that have lasted into adulthood. And that is saying something about the person who leads these kind of groups. Now he also has clinics for wee ladies. And you start with the beginners and the intermediates and advanced, and you can always learn something from Raphi. And you try to do something properly, and he's been spending 15 years trying to get me to hold my racket the right way for backhands. But maybe if he struggles another 10 years, maybe it'll work. I don't know. But it is marvelous, and when he says, now, I'm going to give you a shot, and you are to hit it, and then put it over in that corner of the court. So you hit it, and you hit it into the net, and he said, oh, let's try again. And then when you do it and get it approximately in that part of the court, he says, good, good, and you feel that you really know how to play badminton, and that's great. He's always there for our Tuesday and Thursday ladders. I think I could count on the times that he hasn't been there on my two hands in the 15 years I've been in the club. He makes sure that we get on the right court, because some people like to cheat. He makes sure that we have birds, and he now, lately, and I don't know whether this is a good thing or not, he gives us a piece of paper and a pencil so that we can put down our scores, because usually by the time we get up to the lounge again, we've forgotten what our scores were. So anyway, he's there. And I have never seen anybody who can calm down women who all four people at a time think that they're right. And he does it very diplomatically in his sweet way, and everybody, even the ones that are in the wrong, think that they're in the right. He has a magical way of having our places on the ladder. I asked this week 4 different people who should have known how you went up and down on the ladder, and not one of them could really tell me. They said, well, we leave it to Raphi all the time. And I mean, it's very easy. You know that when you're going up, if you win the game, you go up to the next court. And when you lose the game, you go down to the following court. And if you're absent, you're going to go skidding down like snakes and ladders to 4 places or 6 places. And when you are late, you play right at the bottom. You have to wait. That's punishment for being late. And then, but that's fine. That's simple. But then you find out that two people above you on the ladder are away. Now, how does he work it out that you go up and they come down and sort it all out? But he just looks at us and says it's very easy. So we always trust him. But on behalf of the section, we want to thank you, Raphi. You have given so much of yourself. We love your sense of humor. We love the sympathy when we are down and out. We like your encouragement. And we love you for making us love the game, whether we win or not. We hope that your retirement will be great, both in Thailand and in here, in Canada. And the women were thinking, what could we give you to make you remember the ladies? And somebody got a brilliant idea, and then we thought, where are we going to store this thing? And we thought, the office of the ladies' locker room attendants. And those poor women, we should all apologize to them. They have had individuals running in and saying, where do I sign my name? And we've all signed our name. And where we signed it on your gift is in haphazard order. It doesn't mean a thing. But we would like you to take into your home here, I think, a wooden ladder from the ladies.
Yeah, actually, Milt Hess is just making the point, Raphi, that if you stood on that on the court, you'd get better angle on your smash. Towards the end of your remarks, Mary Eleanor, you said you wanted to come up with something that would ensure that Raphi never forgets his ladies. I don't think you have to worry about that. There are a couple of things you didn't explain, though, very well. You mentioned the first time you went out to play, you ended up having to sit out because you were panting so heavily, but you didn't explain why. You also mentioned that Raphi has clinics for the ladies, but you didn't explain what the clinics are for. I thought the part about dressing was kind of cute, though. It's now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Jamie McKee. Jamie McKee needs no introduction, I'm sure, to anyone in this room. He has been an active participant in the Granite Club's badminton section now, going back about 3 decades. And he is clearly the club's most decorated homegrown national and international badminton competitor. Jamie?
Thanks, Tom. As he gets ready to retire, it occurs to me that my best partner, my best coach, my best friend is leaving. There aren't very many opportunities to pay one's respects to a legend, This is one of those rare occasions. It was about 27 years ago when I first met Raphi on the courts of the Glencoe Club. I was there because if you were an up-and-coming badminton player in Canada, that was the place to be. The Glencoe Club already had Chenarong as its coach and was looking to add Raphi as his assistant. On meeting Raphi, you had no idea that he was a superstar of badminton. His modest, humble, and polite manner impressed you immediately. So different from what we're used to seeing with today's high-profile athletes, where self-promotion is the rule. This kind and gentle man, however, was feared and respected on the badminton courts. He had lightning speed and a powerful smash, along with a deceptive drop that would leave the top players in the world flat-footed. I found out how you did that last night, right, Raphi? In Thailand, he won several men's doubles and mixed doubles titles and open titles, an accomplishment he would duplicate in Canada. He played on Thailand's Thomas Cup teams for close to a decade, going undefeated in men's doubles. On his only opportunity to tour Europe, he won the Danish and French Opens and was the finalist in the All England men's doubles. He was known by all who played at the time as the world's best doubles player. Thanks to Jack Muir, Bruce McDougall, Ben Lloyd, and Bill Smith, we managed to lure Raphi away from the Glencoe Club. As a coach, Raphi led by example. He gave me his best at all times and taught me there's no magic formula for success. The only way to the top is to work harder and smarter than everyone else. When, after all the hard work, I had a disappointing loss, he was never negative or critical. His support would get me back on track and make me more determined to achieve my goals. I can remember one match in particular. It was the finals of the Boulevard Club Invitational. I was 28 years old and I was past my peak. I was playing John Chick, who was just reaching his peak, as he was to win the Canadian singles title later that season. We were going 3 games. I was beat. I was so tired I thought I was going to have a heart attack. Raphi calmed me and convinced me that I could still do it. And I knew he was right, because I had seen him do it at the age of 41 in a match against Tom Carmichael. You may not know much about Raphi's singles career, but he's much more noted as a doubles player. And why he played singles in that tournament, I have no idea. Only Raphi can answer that question. All I know is Raphi knows only one way to play badminton, and that is all out. He won that match, and I had to carry him off the court. There was a lot of Tiger Bomb being used that night. I went on to win my match against John Chick and gave Raphi the same opportunity. He had to carry me off the court. As a partner, I've never played with any better. He was always supportive, and never did I feel that when we lost a match it was my fault. With Raphi, you won as a team. If you lost, it was his fault. His sportsmanship was impeccable. He always gave his opponents the benefit of even the slightest doubt. And though it may have happened more than once, I can only remember one time when Raphi got annoyed with an official, and I'm kind of glad he did. It was at the trials for the World Championships. Raphi arrived in Vancouver to watch me in my singles matches, and we expected to play doubles the next day. As soon as he arrived, he was told he was scheduled to play doubles right away. I very seldom played with Raphi when he was mad, but if you must, make sure he's on your team. Because of his determination, we won the trials and represented Canada at the World Championships in Jakarta. Lastly, I want to talk about Raphi as a friend. Raphi was at my wedding as my best man 21 years ago last month. I believe he knew how lucky I was to have a lovely woman such as Linda, my wife, to want to marry me. And Raphi wanted to make sure it happened. Raphi is a friend who always gives more than he receives. When you travel together, it's always a fight to get him to let you pay for anything. He always offers to drive and never lets you pay for gas. And if you make an appointment with him and he's late, you know it's because he's doing a favor for someone. I have never met a more giving man. Someday there may be another Raphi, but likely not. And as I say goodbye on behalf of the competitive players, I would simply like to say, Sawadi, Raphi.
Jamie, is that all you have to say? You didn't leave me very much material. Just before calling on some of our directors to make a special presentation to Raphi, although I'm just supposed to be the MC, I do have the mic, so I thought I might just pay my own short personal tribute and thanks to Raphi. Raphi, outside of my family, no one individual has had a greater impact on my life than you have. You taught me many things that go well beyond the lines on a badminton court. In fact, it wasn't until long after I retired from competitive play that I really came to appreciate that you always mixed lessons on life with your lessons on the court. And your lessons have certainly helped me to meet life's many and unpredictable challenges. Some of the things you taught me the benefit, a long-term benefit of discipline and hard work, of setting goals and objectives and working vigorously towards achieving them. You taught me the benefit of having a distinct competitive advantage, of being able to do something either exceptionally well or even better that no one else can do. You taught me that luck favors those who are the best prepared. You taught me that mental and physical preparation gets you into the game, but you win the game by playing from the heart. You taught me to call the lines as I saw them rather than how I wanted to see them. And in the inevitable moments of defeat that we all experience, you taught me to press forward confidently with the knowledge that there will always be another and brighter day just ahead. Raphi, like everyone else here tonight, I will miss you dearly, and I wish you and your family many happy years in Thailand. And there's no second gift, you got it earlier. I would now like to call on two of our directors, Milt Hess and Cheryl Carr, to make a special presentation to Raphi.
Thank you, Tom. It's at times like this when I think of Raphi's favorite word of advice to at least his recreational players. Relax. We've all heard the wonderful job that Raphi has done for the Granite Club and for the sport of badminton. As confirmed by tonight's stories and tributes, Raphi is held in the highest esteem by all. He epitomizes the Granite Club and our emphasis on family participation. On many occasions, Raphi has been like a father to our children, with his kind and caring manner. And on top of that, his children have been friends and instructors for ours. Raphi has made badminton enjoyable for the beginner and fun for the recreational player. And he's coached and supervised a competitive program that has produced for the Granite Club an incredible number of Gold Crest winners, and I am assured that that number is 99. Amazing. Raphi, the board of directors would like to make you a permanent, as far as that is possible, member of our Granite family. We would like to see you using our gym, swimming in our pool, dining in the dining room, not just playing badminton on the badminton courts, but we'd like that too. And accordingly, we have voted unanimously to award you a lifetime membership in the Granite Club. We hope you will come back often to enjoy it, and congratulations on an exceptional career and welcome to the club. Milt?
Raphi, it's your turn. I don't feel I need to introduce Raphi any further than he has been introduced, so over to Raphi.
First of all, I would like to give a big hand to our master ceremony, Tom Mill. And secondly, I would like to thank James Mill, who's the one who made the organize for this evening. He done us tremendous jobs. I appreciate that. Thank you. I remember that 23 years ago, when Mr. Muir and Mr. McDougall brought me over to the Granite Club here and asked me to become a head badminton professional. It was a great opportunity. It was very easy to make quick decisions. I think that is a great opportunity for me to become a professional here. However, one slight problem. The weather here was so cold. And my wife, Sudha, had to put on 2 pair of socks, 2 sweaters, and 2 jackets. And that was a summertime. That's a big problem. But anyway, we managed to survive the weather. I think because of the member at the Granite Club here, every one of you gave me the very warm welcome and give my family feel at home, and I thank for that. And I thanks everyone to come over tonight, and a wonderful gift which is I have been received. Thank you to Mr. Hess, the board directors, and thank you for Sheila McLaughlin, our conveners, and all those committee members who working with me in the past over the years. And I do like to thank, I don't know what to say, just come up to here. I would like to thank all the speakers, all the kind words you gave it to me. I will be grateful for that. Finally come to all the guests of the Granite Club tonight for coming and to share the great moment for me in my life. And I thank for that. Thanks to Mr. Jim Powell from the Glencoe Club, who never know me before and give me the first job in Canada. I think he take a lot of risk for that. Thank you, Jim. And I look back at my career at the Granite Club here. I'm very proud to all the players at the Granite Club here. They've been very well educated and really distributed to all the BAM games and to me. I don't know what to say now. Now I'm gonna, I would like to say one more thing. That right now, I would like to hand my responsibility to Mike DeBell, who will become a head professional here, and I believe that he will do a great job, far better than me. Yes. In closing, I would like you, every one of you here tonight, to know that how much your support and your friendships mean to me. And I will be grateful for that. Thank you all.
That concludes the after-dinner remarks. Just, Raphi, one parting piece of advice. Now that you are a member, you no longer have to refer to him as Mr. Hess. You can say, "Hey, Milty, we're out of towels in here." That's it. Dessert is served at the back of the room. Please stay and have some dessert and more coffee, and we can all mob Raphi and his family. Thank you, everybody, for coming.